Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy. All right, I think we're ready. One moment.
All right,
All right, one moment. Oh, okay, relax. All right, one moment. Go ahead.
Alan, what dimension would be the most accurate and informative to talk about Bigfoot?
Well, we can discuss this fairly competently from here about 560 if this helps. Or
Okay, and didn't they also call him Sasquatch?
yes.
And and is it true that this is a North American folklore?
Well, it's true that it exists in your folklore. Yes.
Folklore meaning pretend
Well,
is Bigfoot pretend.
mm, in the way that you think of pretend, no. He's real in the way of you think of beings being real. Excuse me. And I say he, there are females as well, but
Do they have a purpose on Earth?
um purpose, not necessarily in the way that you mean.
Okay.
They are, if we may, to shed a little bit of light on the subject, they are, shall we say, in a we've spoke of dimensions before, but within each dimension there are sort of levels and degrees. Does this make sense?
Yes.
But it gets so fine that it really it can make can make the issue rather convoluted. So, however, generally speaking, if you think, and while you are actually 5D, however, if you think about a 3D, 4D earthly experience, and generally human beings being, roughly 3D, 4D, they are sort of higher 4D dimension. Does this make sense? Much like cats, cats on your planet are actually 4D, higher 4D, which
Oh,
is why they're
really?
so precocious. One moment. Did you have a question?
Mm. So, what part of the North America do they?
Well, they are, in addition to North America, they are in other places as well. There's similar climates around your planet. Russia, the idea of Russia, and maybe perhaps your Scandinavian areas, and maybe not so much Europe, but in certain areas. Proceed with the question.
What kind of environment do they like?
What kind of
Wet,
environment?
tree,
Well,
humid, cool.
generally a cooler environment they do enjoy because, as you've seen in some of your pictures, which are true, some of the photos of the Bigfoot, as the word is used, a Sasquatch, some of them are accurate and true and correct. There are a few what you call hoaxes, but those are actually fairly few. One moment. What was the question?
How far underground do they live? Or
Uh,
do they live underground? Excuse me.
oh, you were asking about the climate they enjoyed and where do they live. One moment. Well, part of the reason why many times they're photographed in woody forest areas is this is what they prefer. They prefer generally cooler, wetter climates, your northwest, Oregon, Washington, out there in that area, Northern California, which is why there are many sightings in that area. There are some in other parts of areas where there are mountains along your east coast. However, generally, they prefer a, shall we say, cooler climate to a warmer climate because they are, as you've seen, we've almost mentioned, or we're going to mention, they are quite hairy. So they, much like a bear, generally prefers cooler weather. Does this make sense?
Yes.
All right. Does this help? And where do they live? We'll go ahead. We'll proceed.
Like, do they live underground or in
Um,
caves like bears?
one moment. Let us take a look. More like just in the woods many times. Some of them may have cave-like areas that they've found to provide better shelter, shall we say. There are beings under what you think of as underground, but uh, not so much underground in the way that you mean. But there are beings there, but that's a whole other race. Did you have a further question, or excuse me, does this help?
Yes, it does help. Do you have a birthday for
Bigfoot?
Bigfoot?
One moment.